Hello friends, Mandar here. I'm back with another video. Today we'll talk about a new bill that has been proposed by Senator Durbin and Senator Round for maintaining or retaining international students in STEM. We'll also talk about some pitfalls of EB1C, people who are considering going outside of the United States for a year and coming back. We'll talk about that particular aspect. We'll also talk about what happened with the program, Canadian Open Work Permit program, and what are the possible scenarios that will play out, and some other topics that you don't want to miss. So watch this video until the end and let's get started. If you are here for the first time, welcome. My name is Mandar and I make immigration and lifestyle related videos for US and Canada. I'm not an immigration lawyer, so anything that I say on this video or on my channel is for information purpose only. And for your specific immigration needs, before you take any action, you should hire a competent immigration lawyer. Now before we start, it will be a huge favor for me if you hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel. That will greatly help me and support me. Also check out the links in the description because those are affiliate links and that will also help the channel. Next thing I want to say is, if you haven't checked out my news article that CBC Canada Radio News had interviewed me last week, my article about what are the challenges faced by H1B holders and their dependents, and also the EB based backlog in the US. That article link is in the description. Do check out that interview. I was obliged to have received a call from CBC Radio Canada to have this interview done last week, and I thought I would share that with you. Now let's talk about this new proposal that Senator Dick Durbin and Senator Rounds have come up with. Now I came across this tweet from Senator Dick Durbin. Nearly 2/3 of graduate students in the key STEM fields were born abroad. We need to keep the talent in America to maintain a strong workforce, strengthen our economy, and enhance our competitiveness. With my bill, which Senator Round would help just do that. Now I dig around what is included in this bill. It was initially really hard to find, but I finally found something that says Durbin Rounds introduce bipartisan legislation to retain international graduates with advanced STEM degrees. So they are making some efforts to make sure that people who graduate in the United States with advanced degrees such as masters will be able to stay in the United States for a little bit longer or permanently if they wish to, because they want these graduates who are studying here to make a contribution to the US economy. Many a times what is happening is today, because of the limited pathways and because of the restrictions in H1B quota, these graduates are no longer able to stay beyond a couple of years and they have to make a decision to go outside of the United States. That drains the talent that they have acquired here and had aspired to contribute towards the economy. So now this bill will do something like that. What this goes on to say is, Senator Durbin and Senator Round today introduced a bipartisan legislation that would streamline the path for advanced STEM graduates who studied at our nation's universities to remain in the United States. Now they go on to say that this bill enhances national security by imposing new stringent vetting programs while also promoting national security by making certain talents stay serving in the United States and not our enemies. Specifically, keeping the STEM Talent Act of 2023 addresses green card backlog. Let's see what it says. The legislation would exempt advanced STEM graduates who are educated in the United States, US universities and have a job offer in the US along with their spouses and children from numerical limitations for employment-based green card. So what they say is, these people who have studied in the United States, who have graduated from the United States and who have a job offer in the United States, they will be exempt from numerical limits for the green card. So that means that these people will have unlimited number of green cards, in the sense that they will not be subjected to numerical caps. So it will be like US citizens sponsoring their parents or children. There is no numerical cap. So as long as you study masters over here or PhD over here and you get a job in the US, you will get a green card. So this is going to be huge. It will be incredibly huge. Imagine if you want to come to the United States, all you have to do is get an admission into a US university and study masters or PhD, and you will be granted a visa and you will be granted a green card. Isn't it amazing? I don't think any other country in the world is offering this. This will be a really game changer in removing the backlog, because all those people who are waiting, who fall in this category, will suddenly come out of the backlog, and this will be huge. Now let's see where it goes. They say it's a bipartisan because it's Senator Rounds and Senator Durbin, but we'll see how much support it gains in the future. The second point is protects US workers. This legislation would protect American STEM workers by requiring that employers sponsoring foreign STEM graduates under this bill recruit US workers first and agree to pay workers hired above average wages. So basically what they are saying is put the international graduates on the same level as the local workers, local American workers. Give them the same salary, give them the same benefits, and that will be a competitive, even playing field for US workers and international workers. So that is the second point. The third point says permits dual intent. Currently, a student visa holder cannot apply for green card while in the student status. This legislation will allow advanced STEM degree students at US universities to have dual intent, meaning that they will not lose their student visa status if they are sponsored by an employer for a green card. Now, all of these are contributing towards making it easier for international students to get a green card. Now, the fourth is impose rigorous vetting. This legislation requires advanced degree students in STEM field to apply for a visa or status before starting their advanced degree program, requiring them to undergo rigorous vetting and address any national security and counterintelligence concerns prior to being approved for the student visa status. Now the full bill text is here, and I'm not going to go through it at this point of time, but if this bill has any possibility of moving forward, I'll be sure to make a video out of it. But this is incredible. Just the first 2 points in this bill suggest that they will take a lot of those people out of these backlog and give them the green card right away. So that's the way I read it. So we'll see where this goes, if this bill even hits the floor, and even if it hits the floor in the Senate, and even if it gets approved, it has to go through the House as well. So we'll see where it stands. I'll continue to monitor this bill and keep you posted. Make sure you hit that bell notification to be notified when I make this video. Now let's quickly look at my sponsor. So I know for sure that some of you are interested in stock trading, day trading, buying cryptocurrencies. I want to present you Webull. Webull is a trading platform. It allows you to buy stock, it allows you to buy options, do options trading, and also it allows you to buy cryptocurrency. Webull 9 was released with a brand new home and market page, asset page, and economic calendar. Also, Webull Cash Management was launched with 5.8% API with no fees attached and no minimum balance and unlimited withdrawals. This is amazing. New Webull USA users can still enjoy 5.8% APY and get up to 12 free stocks when making an initial deposit of each is valued between $3 and $3,000. Feel free to take advantage of this. Join through my link and you will get those free stocks. Now don't really get carried away with these bills. Senator Durbin and many other senators and congressmen come up with these bills every year. It is nothing new unless it gets some traction. And we have seen these bills fall flat on their face as soon as they are brought to the floor, and some don't even see the day of the light on the floor. So we'll see where this goes. Now another point I wanted to cover is there was a tweet and some information about premium processing for EADs. Now what really happens in this? So this is the alert that had come in, and this was effective June 13th, and applicants seeking to change to FMJ status who have a pending I-539, which is the change of status, may request a premium processing upgrade by filing I-907 without the form I-539 online or by mail. Starting June 26, applicants seeking to change to F visa, M visa or L visa who do not already have a pending I-539 may file form I-539 together with form I-907 when filing online. So they have made it clear. They are saying that premium processing will be brought in phases, and they are adding categories month after month. At some point, I'm pretty sure H4 EAD, Green Card EAD, all of these will also get premium processing. But as of now, I don't think that is valid for H4 EAD or Green Card EAD. Let me know in the comment section below what is your interpretation of this particular phase of rollout of premium processing. I'm pretty sure the premium processing for H4 EAD and Green Card EAD will be coming soon. Now in the last couple of weeks, I have got numerous calls on EB1C and EB1A, particularly EB1C from Silicon Valley. Lot of people from Silicon Valley are considering going into EB1C. Now with this Canadian Open Work Permit program that was closed last week, a lot of people want to go to Canada in order to just fulfill the EB1C requirements. Now I have some thoughts on it and I would like to share. Now first of all, if you are considering this route, make sure it is 100% bulletproof, because the thing is, you are impacting your family. When you are moving from one country to another, in this case United States to Canada, you are making a big commitment, not just for your professional career but also for your family and kids. Think about it, if your wife also has a job or if your spouse has a job, they will have to leave the job to come with you. Or if your kids are beyond certain age, say middle school or high school, they will be greatly impacted by moving from United States to Canada. Although the education system is almost on par, there are certain differences, and your children at such an age will not be able to cope up with it easily. Another thing to consider is, if you are on H1B and if you are thinking about moving to Canada by yourself and keeping your family back in the United States on H4, the dependent visa, that is not possible. Unless you maintain your employment with your US employer entity in the US, you will not be fulfilling your H1B requirements. At the same time, H4 status will be invalid. So the moment you go to Canada to work for the Canadian entity of your US employer or a different employer in Canada, you will not be maintaining your H1B. That means your family back in the US cannot stay on H4 EAD or H4. So take that into account. Some people have said that I have been doing this for a while and my family has been living in the US on H4 and I have been outside of the US. I have some people contact me on this particular point and I caution them, there are pitfalls, there are people fall through the cracks, some get away with it, but do not do this, because that will be violation of your H1B terms and it can come back to haunt you at any time in your immigration process in US. So that is the first point I wanted to cover. The second point I wanted to cover is, if you are thinking about going to Canada, working for a year and coming back, do have a commitment from your employer. So many times I have seen that some people say that, okay, my manager is okay with it, my company is okay with it, so I'm going to go out. I went out, but only to know 6 months or 8 months down the line that the manager who had made you the commitment no longer works for the company, or the HR has changed their policy and so on. Now they can no longer entertain your process that they had committed to you to come back on L1A and apply for EB1C. So some people are stuck outside of the United States who had planned to go through this process to get EB1C. So this is a very important point that you will need to note before taking this step, because you are taking a big step, leaving the country, going into a different country, maybe in Canada or in India or somewhere else, and you are banking on the commitment that was made by your manager or your company at the time you left. So is that manager or company or commitment is going to stay around when you come back, is the real question that you want to ask. You don't want to fall in the trap of being outside the United States and not being able to come back to the same company. Obviously, there is always a chance to come back with another company, but then you lose all that time that you have invested in getting qualified for EB1C. So think about that. And then the last pitfall I'm going to say about EB1C is, don't assume that you will always be qualified with this qualification. The EB1C sometimes gets scrutinized a lot. It is the most abused category, and I keep saying this in many of my videos. EB1A has a lot of scrutiny, EB1C also has a lot of scrutiny. You will need to be in a managerial capacity with certain employees reporting to you and also a substantial portion of the business that you are managing. Your lawyer will have to somehow show it in a cover letter in order to be eligible for EB1C. So think about all of these aspects before taking a decision just to go out and come back in the United States to be eligible for EB1C. Another thing that I want to tell you, if your dates are within 2015, say you are on EB2 or EB3, and if your priority dates are somewhere around 2013, 2014, not 2015 I would say, but 2013 or 2014, don't think about going outside of the US only to qualify for EB1C, because your dates are around the corner. I am speculating that dates may move forward within the next 2-3 years to at least 2014. So in that case, it's just a matter of couple of, you might as well want to stay in the US, keep extending your H1B and wait for your EB2 date to be current. But if your priority date is 2015 and beyond, say 2016, 2017 and so on, then it might be a case for you to consider going outside of the US, working for a non-US entity for a year or more, and then coming in a managerial capacity and then coming back. So that might be the case. If you need my thoughts, do contact me on my Calendly. I'll be happy to talk to you about your situation. Remember, this will be a non-legal advice. It will be my personal opinion that I can share with you. Canadian Open Work Permit program, as I said in my past videos, ended within 2 days. Within 2 days, all 10,000 applications were used up. Imagine how many people would have applied for it and that didn't go through. I'm pretty sure if this number was even 50,000, that would have filled out within a week. That's how many people are interested and how many people are waiting in the US on H1B. Now I'm sure that not all of those people will end up going to Canada, maybe 50% or less, but some that do go, I would suggest that do a commitment, get your PR and citizenship and only then come back. Don't think short term with your L1A and things like that. If you are going, make a commitment, get your PR and citizenship. That would just be my advice. And also check out my interview with CBC Radio Canada on this website, where they had interviewed me regarding the H1B situation in the US and how it's impacting their family and their children. There are some interesting points that they took out of my interview and posted on this article. I hope I will be called on by other news agencies to provide my thoughts that will be beneficial to a lot of people. So that's really all I wanted to cover in this video. If you like the content of this video, do hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one.